So, hey guys, welcome to another episode of All Bass Creations, Effects, Tutorials, Demos, and Review. So, today we actually are in luck. You know, we have my compact board here, and this is kind of what ideally what I would like a compact board to be. So, one of the biggest things you got here, you know, that's new out in the market that everybody's kind of going crazy over is the MXR bass synth, right? So, but another one is the ToneX One Signature Bass Collection pedal, right? And that's this ToneX One. I have my other ToneX One. Let's see, right here. So you can see there's the black one. This is the new one. And just for full transparency, IK Multimedia did send me this ToneX One. This one, not the black one. The black one I bought. All that stuff you seen me do with the black ones just because I love it. You know, but I still love this collection as well. But when they added this, they reached out to me and asked would it be okay if I would look over. What's going on, folks? Appreciate you chiming in. Feel free to chime in. Hit that like button for me while y'all here and all that good stuff. So, you know, this, you can actually, if you want to order that pedal, they are out now. And if you want to help the channel out, you can get it through the link in the description of the video. But that's a SVT right there. And that's actually, I have my three favorite, just the amp models they have there queued up here. That's one. This Aguilar DB750. Let me bring this up. This is what my bass sounds like without it. Let me take this mic off. With it. Now they also have this on here with a SWR Goliath 410 cabinet, and another one of my favorites is this Mark Bass and this is just the amp heads, right? So one of the things if you know me, I use ToneX instead of using like preamps on the actual amps when I'm going to gigs and different things like that. So what I tend to do is run this into the return of the amp head, or or it'll be the power amp in on some amps. So that's the Mark Bass. Big Banger or something like that. just fire bass sounds, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate all y'all chiming in. Yeah, thank y'all. Appreciate that. Let me turn this on the multi-stream here so I can see everybody chiming in on the different platforms. Oh, okay, bet. Sorry about that. Never want to, never want you guys to feel like I'm not here. But, oh, by the way, check out my t-shirt. This is my FAME shirt, Foundation for Advancement of Music and Education. Check us out when you get a chance. If you got any young talented kids in the DMV area in United States, let me know, and we can audition them and get them in there. But that's also something I do on Mondays. I teach as well. So, but bam, ooh, all of these are fire, and like they sound great. I used them yesterday at church, right? So all the sounds you heard yesterday from the live stream was from this pedal. See if I find some of my other favorites on here. So they got some great amp models in there, and all that's included with the pedal. So I literally at times have just, thank you for the subscribe, and I definitely appreciate that for sure. I normally have a much bigger setup, but sometimes I like to do these compact boards like this when I just feel like it, to be honest. Sometimes I go with the medium board, sometimes I go with the big Terra Nova 42, big 61 key size pedal board. But in terms of a compact pedal board, a ToneX one, especially this, if you get the signature bass series one, if you're playing bass now, because it's not gonna, if you get the other one, it's not gonna come with all these amp models and stuff like this that are specific for bass. So make sure you're getting the correct one. If you go to the link in the description of this video, you'll directly be able to grab one. You know what I'm saying? It'll take you right to it. Now, like I said, my three favorite amps on there is the Mark Bass Big Banger. Let me see what it's called. Make sure I'm saying that name correctly. Yeah, Mark Bass Big Bang. And then the SVT CL Heritage. And then the Aguilar DB750. So, check that pedal out, of course. And like I said, I use it straight by itself for gigs. That's one of the most amazing things about it. you don't have to take no other pedal but a ToneX one. Yeah, if you really want to be compact, you know what I'm saying? And it's got chorus and delay and all that stuff in there. You just set up your patches like this how I normally have it, and I just switch back and forth. So bam. All right, so now we'll go back to the beginning of the, matter of fact, we won't go back to the beginning because I know a lot of you guys want to see some of that MXR bass synth action and maybe some future impact action, you know. I mean, all these pedals in action. So let's just go through the chain real quick because that'll make everything easier for you guys to understand. So we're starting with the Empress compressor. Let me turn everything else off. So this is my bass dry signal. All right. Empress compressor. So it just adds a nice, it adds a nice texture. It's not only doing compression, it adds like a little small amount of saturation in there from the analog circuitry in there. So you know, that's on a 4-to-1, usually a 2-to-1 or 4-to-1 ratio. You know, longer attack, quicker release. As you can see, unless I really dig in, I'm not gonna reach that 4-4, even like this. So I keep it on that. Then we roll over here to, in fact, we bring this down a bit. Next up, we have the future impact next. So we're coming out of, pick a good sound there. Oh, this thing on 10,000. Matter of fact, turn on this. Also, I have a Spectra comp here at the end, which is a multi-band compressor. Right, so I'm just gonna keep the multi-band compressor on, so you know that's at the end of the chain. Rada. So future impact. Trying to have it blow y'all ears out. You know, and that's not even a sound that's really a faster tracking sound. get some great sounds out the Future Impact. You know, you can definitely get some spot on synths onto your classic stuff. Bring that down just a little bit. Just straight up, right on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can get some really nasty sounds with the Future Impact for sure. See, it catches those articulations as well, so it's not like you just stuck out there, no articulations or nothing like that. So it's catching all of that. And you know, if y'all like this type of content, feel free, you know what I'm saying, to hit that super chat, Cash App, all that good stuff, and feel free to, you know what I'm saying, hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. So. And check out the Patreon. Don't forget to check out that Patreon. It's going to have all my presets for like the Future Impact and any other pedal up here that you, the Zoom MS-60B plus, the Enzo X. What else we got on there? Zoom MS-70 CDR plus, the C4 synth. We got 11 different preamp packs of my own personal settings. On different preamps, 11 different preamps for the packs available for the ToneX pedals and stuff too. So yeah, you can get some nasty work in with a Future Impact for sure. Just good gracious. So don't sleep on the Future Impact. Don't think it won't go. You know what I'm saying? The Future Impact definitely is, I have to say, sound quality wise is insane. And the functionality wise, in terms of being able to, not only can it track my bass like that, it allows me to play it with a keyboard. So I can use MIDI in and actually control that same sound using the actual MIDI keyboard. You know what I'm saying? If I want to get perfect, you know what I'm saying, key-based stuff. And not because I actually play keys and things like that. So it's not that big of a deal to me to just hook up a keyboard, you know. But it also gives you the additional feature to come out of it, MIDI out into another keyboard, which is nobody else synth pedal is doing that right now. So that's a huge factor for me. You know what I'm saying? That's why, and not only that, but it's the most flexible bass synth pedal out right now. Right? You want the most flexibility. Say you actually know what you're doing with synths and stuff like that. Say you have like a bass station or a Moog or something like that. You'll definitely thoroughly enjoy the Future Impact. It's laid out pretty much the same way in the software as a vintage synth would be and just in the computer. So it has 4 oscillators, right? And each oscillator you can have 3 different waveforms. You can mix and match them too. So you can mix the square and the saw wave together on the same oscillator, and you got different parameters for the square, the pulse wave, and the saw wave. You know what I'm saying? Like you have different parameters within that one oscillator to change all of that and change how they interact. I know if you don't do synth, this might not make sense to you, but it's an insane amount of flexibility, and that's one oscillator. And it's 4 of them. So you could do that times 4 different octaves, different harmonies, and different things like that. And then you run that into a Moog style filter. It's got 3 different types of filters. Like, you got your 24 dB, 12 dB, and then you can add a bandwidth, which is like a second filter to interact with that, get that electroharmonics bass balls type thing. But then you also have so I'm not gonna go through all the features, but it's just extremely flexible. It's got a full ADSR for your oscillators and your filter. So yeah, that's the Future Impact. Now we got the MXR bass synth. So one reason I have the MXR bass synth running after the Future Impact is because I wanted to be able to use the filter on the MXR bass synth on like my raw oscillators I have on here. So I have certain patches on here where I turn the Future Impact's filter off so I could use any filters with those different types of waveforms or oscillators. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much extending it out to an infinite amount of filters that I can use with it, which, believe it or not, makes a huge difference. But so when I first got this, or when I first got it, when I was listening to other people play around with the MXR bass synth, I was one, it didn't really sound too good for me with a lot of people. I understand everybody's excited they can get in the synth game now and all that good stuff. I'm about to change these to change these. Yeah, you run it through something like that, like a nice preamp, and you're going to get a much better feel to it. So, for instance, I'll play with it a little bit. You'll kind of hear what I'm saying. So here's without it. Doesn't sound bad, but when you take that and then you run that into a nice preamp, like I'm running this, I'm gonna run it into a color box. I have a tone model that I put on the ToneX one of some of my preamp packs that'll be out soon. I got some new ones coming out. I'm redoing all of my preamp packs. Well, not all of them, the majority of them, and I'm adding a few different packs like the color box plus other preamps. Some of you all might have heard me talk about this before, but this one is the color box running into a Ampeg SGT DI. So let's get a little bit of we're gonna put a little bit of little volume on this. So you get a much better, beefier sound out of the unit. Adding a nice preamp after it versus just trying to run it straight. I don't, this Future Impact is like a real vintage synth. You don't need a bass preamp after it, for real, for real. You can just use that raw sound and it's going to be enough. The MXR bass synth definitely needs some sort of EQ or preamp or compression after it. So now this particular setting I've set up so I can basically I can go from, and mind you, I don't have any of the stock. I'm not using any stock preamps. Stock presets for the MXR bass synth. I always craft things to my own liking that will, help me, in real life. So, that's just me. So I got this patch set up to go from for when you want to do like fills and stuff, you can literally be playing. The cool thing about it is it really does let you morph between the two settings. Like, it doesn't just like hop all of a sudden. It goes and like morphs from this setting. So even if I wanted to just get like a slightly different synth out of it. And this is where I do like that they allowed you to have an expression pedal with this thing, which is greatly expanding the capabilities of it in in my mind at least. It's so if you got one preset, right? One preset really can be like a whole bunch of presets, because that's one, right? Then as I move my foot just up a little bit, so right there, right? And then as I open it all the way, as I go further and further, so that's one feature I've seen people kind of use a little bit with this bass synth, but not really. You know, when you really set it up right, you know what I'm saying? Like that, there's, even though it is limited now, you will not have as much, nowhere near the amount of flexibility or features as the Future Impact. But you will, if you really just are intimidated by synths, or you just really don't know what none of that do, right? I think this is a really good option. I mean, I think this is a really good option for any bassist. Like, to be honest, it's just something that'll be nice to have in your arsenal. Not, you know, I love MXR pedals, you know what I'm saying, particularly, and you know, it's another brand I really like, you know what I'm saying. Like, I have the MXR bass envelope filter, the MXR layers, the MXR poly blue octave pedal as well. So and I also use, this whole board is actually powered by an MXR ISO brick. So, you know, something like these MXR pedals, they do a great job of getting like really good sounds in these form factors, these small, these like standard bass pedal form factors. Now, I will say, you want to play this mostly above the 12th fret. It's going to give you the best tracking. Let me turn this on 2 to 1. So, I mean, every pedal is going to have its limitations. You know, just for verification. So I am playing, you know, it's not like I'm not playing cleanly, you know what I'm saying? You know, of course, every synth pedal has some part of the tracking, so you know that's a little bit, a little iffy. But I can honestly say I really like the tracking on here. I feel like it's really snappy. It does feel good. This and the Future Impact have really good bass tracking, in my opinion. Like that, they are hard to beat, and you know the Future Impact is hard to beat in general, just because it can literally match like almost the exact sound from those vintage synths, like the Moog, the ARP 2600. I wouldn't necessarily put the bass the MXR bass synth in that category. It's not going to get you that exact sound. Now, don't sleep, because let me say that because I turned that gain up on there. So to save a preset, you just long press the preset button. It'll start blinking. You can select which preset slot you want to save it in. Then once you do that, long press again. And another, like I said, each preset, if you have the expression pedal up, is really like 3. That's in the middle. That's all the way to the top. But you can, it does it smoothly, like really morphs between those sounds, those 3 sounds, but it's really only 2. It's one when your heel is down, and then when your heel is down, and then one when your heel is up. When your toe is down. So when your toe is down is like the alternate setting of the preset. So you have to set the, my recommendation, get your heel down joints in, locked in, right? Lock that in, right? Save that. Save it. Then come back, come up and mess around with the heel, with the toe setting. You know what I'm saying? Which is your alternate, let's call it A and B. You know, your B setting would be on your toe. You can set that up to do different things. Now, the rest of it, a lot of the versatility is going to come with this pedal, with the mix. You really got to play with those the mix of the voices. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm getting those. So go from there. You can let's check out some other settings. Setting like that, you throw on like a nice shimmer reverb and maybe like put on some delay. Matter of fact, for a sound like this, you know, you can get a lot done with some stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Or even just having this nice vibrato. Start really building some sounds from there. You know what I'm saying? So I think, in my opinion, this is a good little pedal. I wasn't expecting it to be as good just because it was so much of a marketing hype behind it. It was so much extra. Buy this pedal. It's awesome. There's nothing wrong with it. Made me suspicious. I'm suspicious of too much marketing, you know. But I will say, you know, not to say that things that are heavily marketed aren't good. You know, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, when I watch YouTube channels, a lot of times, the bigger channels are typically, everything is amazing. That's always good. Nothing's ever bad. Nothing ever, you know what I'm saying? It's just like with music with some people sometimes. Nothing's ever bad. Everybody's music is good. No, it's not. No, it's not. You know, but with something like this, it really does take you getting it in your hands. And I would suggest that you don't try to as much copy songs. Like, I'm watching people a lot of times try to copy songs, and they're being disappointed that this is not being a $2,000 synth, a $4,000 synth. You know, it's not that. You know what I'm saying? Use it for. I always tell people this. This is my main rule for effects pedals. I don't care what it's trying to model. I care what it actually sounds like. Now, if you're one of those people that's buying it for that specific thing, for I want it to model this or that, or I want it to sound exactly like this or that, then that's one thing. But I'm not. I'm completely different when it comes to these types of things. I don't know why I be this pedal just gets me caught up sometimes. Like I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like when that expression pedal almost is essential to get that type of stuff. See, like this top sound, I'm gonna get this under control. This top sound, and I'm gonna change. I want this one to be off the LFO. I like that one. I just unlocked something else, guys. I just found out something else. So this is really, really cool. When using an expression pedal and you have it set to 2 different waveforms. So like I have this set to the triangle. First of all, stop playing with me. I wish these joints let me export these. I would make so many presets for this joint. It'd be stupid, but yeah, I'm still, like I said, I'm still trying to figure out how I can get you guys a preset video pack or something to this. But first of all, that's dumb. That I can go have this sound, right? And then I can go to a saw wave, right, with the other sound in the middle of that. Just like I said, like in the middle of it, you're actually getting like a combination of the 2 presets. So in order for that to happen, that means at this crossover point right here, I'm getting some saw wave and some square wave. That's sickening. First off. First off, that's sickening. Now, I know, I am pretty decent at doing presets. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I mind you, I do a ton of preset packs all the time. So I am really versed at doing presets. But trust and believe, that did not take a lot of work. Like that, it did not take a lot of work at all. And everything, if I wanted to on the fly, of course, that is one benefit of this pedal. If I wanted to on the fly, change some things around, do something else, I can literally alter each one of these presets on the fly, no problem, But compared to the Future Impact, you really only have control over the filter, the balance, and whatever the last effect in the chain is. Excuse me. So I say that to say this is amazing. Like, between the Future Impact and the MXR bass synth, that's literally all the bass synthing you need. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with if you want to get, I would say now I'm talking about in the compact world, I would add to that list the Enzo X. I never forget, just because it ain't on this board, it wouldn't fit. The Enzo X would be like half of this joint. So, in order to have a compact board, you gotta use more compact pedals. And that is something that the MXR bass synth and the Future Impact V4 VIP definitely excel at. You know what I'm saying? So that pedal signature, it can do so much. And another feature that doesn't really get talked about too much, even though you can do all of that, right? I wonder if it also has a freeze function where you can freeze that sound. You can freeze that note. Say I wanted to. Is it still on? Yeah. Okay. So. See, now would it just hold that note? If I wanted to bring in my dry signal. I can't let the pedal. It even lets you change it. Oh, that's beautiful. It even lets you change it. You can hear this is my dry bass. So if I wanted to play over top of it, I could. But not only that, I can morph it. The ability to morph like that is really cool. I mean, the Future Impact V4 has that as well as the Enzo X. So it's not a feature that's unique to the MXR bass synth, but it is the easiest to do it with. You know what I'm saying? Like, in terms of getting all that transformation to happen it takes much less programming and just fiddling. But like I said, that's mainly due to the lack of parameters. You know what I'm saying? It is a limited within. It is a real synth. It's a real synth pedal. I don't know why people keep saying this is not a real synth pedal. You know what I'm saying? Or it's like but this is absolutely a real full-fledged synth. It just has a very limited scope of sounds. I mean, it's not even a small scope. It's a wide scope of sounds you can get, very wide. You know what I'm saying? But it is limited compared to something like the Future Impact V4 VIP. Feels a little bit more like limitless in a way, or it feels like you'll run out of ideas before you'll run out of sounds you can make. You know what I'm saying? But this pedal, I wish I had more presets. I really wish it had more presets. I understand they got to keep it within a certain range, but I really wish it had more presets. The 8, I ran out of those 8 so fast. Because I was just creating sounds, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I said. And then you could just, like, that's insane. And then the octaver. Like, I was able to make that very nice octave setting with it. So it's just tremendous. Like, I really got this pedal, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think I was gonna like it this much. Like, and MXR did not send me this pedal. I bought this pedal. I actually bought it used from somebody. Somebody else got it, didn't like it. It was like, listed it. And as soon as I saw it, within 20 minutes of that listing bit up there, your boy got that thing up out of there. You know, because I got to get you guys these channel reviews. Plus, shout out to Neo Lover 23 for, being one of the sponsors of these, of the last couple video series of the Future Impact and the MXR bass amp. Shout out to him, and shout out to the folks on the Patreon. Thank you guys so much to all the Patreon subscribers. It means the world to me that you guys trust me with your hard-earned money. And as you can see, I always try to get you these new videos and product reviews to try to stay up on top of the lives. And you guys are going to start getting exclusive content, and that everybody else ain't going to get. Like, I might just, not even do a video pack for the MXR bass synth. I might just do a bunch of live streams showing you guys how to get to these different sounds, but I'm only going to release it to the members of the YouTube channel and the Patreon. Now, if you're on Patreon, you don't have to sign up on YouTube as well. I want you guys to have access to me on either platform, so the same content will be streamed to both platforms, but only to the members, only to the paid members. So remember that these live streams like this will remain free, but a lot of the detailed stuff of me going into things is going to be to the members. All right. And we're going to be doing live concerts. We're going to be doing lessons. Like, I'm going to have a whole lesson series for you guys on the paid membership side of the game, but yeah, we'll talk about that later. These more the solo tones. I like this thing. It's like you'll get caught up playing around with it, and like I'm able to create some really serious sounds. Like yeah, you can get it with this. Oh yeah, let's do that real quick. Let me show y'all something real quick. So, you know, the future impact and this, I was able to get that thriller sound with both of them. You guys could be the judge of which one is, well, I already know which one it is, but I'll let you guys do your thing. So here it is on my version of it, and this is not the preset. Again, these are none of these presets that you're hearing on the MXR bass synth or the Future Impact are the stock presets. These are all my custom presets. So when you get the pedal, it ain't gonna sound like this just because it said the thriller setting. That giant. For me, I didn't really like the stock presets. What's going on, folks? Appreciate all y'all chiming in. Feel free to chime in and ask questions, folks. Hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. You guys are amazing. So let's do. So, of course, the Future Impact definitely, the Future Impact is spot on. But that's the difference between the sounds. It's like it's just a small amount. I mean, actually, you know, it's a lot more bottom and booty with the Future Impact sound. Like it's way more bottom than on the MXR bass synth. That's why I said the MXR bass synth, you will definitely have to have some sort of preamp after it. It is not one of those pedals. It's not the Future Impact. The Future Impact is a self-contained synth. The Enzo X is a self-contained synth. You don't have to have anything else to get the perfect sounds out of them. Now, the MXR bass synth, you will need some of that. Now, I did turn one few tips for the MXR bass synth when you get it. Let me go to my manual here. I think I got the manual pulled up. No, I don't. I had to put it. Okay, so my main things with that, you're going to have to turn down the compression. So you're going to have to, as soon as you get the pedal, matter of fact, even before then, we're going to change the tracking to the 4-string. Don't worry about if you, the 4-string is just, the tracking is just going to be better. It's just going to be, you're going to have a much better time with it. What's going on, folks? Appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, so you want to hold down the shape button and turn the resonance knob, and that's to the middle. And that's going to give you the 4-string tracking, which is the fastest tracking. You don't want to, stop trying to play a synth pedal like it's a chorus pedal. It's not. Like that, I don't know why people want to play a synth pedal down here so bad. I don't know why y'all want to play it down here. That's not going to give you the optimal range, especially it doesn't even allow, if you're playing down here, now you instantly cut off, now you limit yourself. You went from 3 oscillators to 2. You literally cut off a whole oscillator. You can't run the sub bass down here because then it's going to get all muddy and ugly sounding. So play up here. I wouldn't go past this low B, this B on the E string, because it doesn't matter. That's normal synth territory. And then you got plenty of room to play. You got plenty of room to play. If you do it down here, all this sounds like garbage. Like, so it's just, and it doesn't track well. No synth pedal really tracks well down there. Like, yes, the Future Impact and the MXR and the Enzo X can track down there, but is it the optimal tracking, like, range? No. It's going to be up here, typically above the 12th fret. So above an octave of your open strings. You know, that typically will give you the best tracking, and it gives you the option to have your sub, you know, the lower frequency mixed in, lower oscillator rather, octave. Your unison pitch is not in the lower range, so it's not competing with the sub. And then your upper octave is above that. So now you got a huge stack, you know what I'm saying, of like 3 octaves, you know what I'm saying, that you're playing when you mix it up. So that's something to think about, you know, when you're playing synth pedals. I don't get any octave pedal or synth pedal and plan on playing it really anywhere below this B on the E string. So, you know, that's just my 2 cents on that, but you can do what you want. But yeah, so change that tracking to the 4th string. You don't need it to track to the low B anyway, because you shouldn't be playing down there with a synth pedal. That's terrible. That's turbo. Yeah. Yeah, that's how my little nephew used to say it when he was growing up. But yeah, turn the compression down to about, I had mine around 9 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? That compression was a bit much for me, and it was really killing the sound of the unit, in my opinion, like when too much was added. So if anything, 25% or less, you know what I'm saying, of the knob, you know, I would say, yeah, about 9 o'clock to off. You know what I'm saying? You don't really need that. It's on the output. It's not on the input. Now, that's why I still have this Empress compressor running while I'm using the bass synth. It's because that compressor is on the output of the synth. So that's a whole different thing. What's going on, folks? Appreciate you chiming in. No, I'm reading the manual. I'm reading the manual on my phone. This is the manual. Well, you probably can't see it, but this is the manual of the bass synth. That's why I say even I don't know why people thought they was going to have no learning curve. You're still going to have a learning curve, even with this MXR bass synth. So, you know what I'm saying? And I would say, yeah, that's about all you need to change globally. You might, typically the gate sensitivity was fine for me. If you find that it's not, like, sometimes I find I'm having to play a little harder than I want, I'll go and change the setting. You know what I'm saying? And you can do that by holding the shape button and turning the cutoff knob. I'm not doing that right now because I already have mine dialed in. Not about to mess up my settings. And you can also, don't forget that you got the noise mix and the voice mix. Like all the other settings that you need to memorize, all the settings you need to memorize for the most part are on the voice side of it. You know, hold the voice button and you'll have an alternate to all. It's really only 18 parameters altogether. What's going on? Oh yeah. We just you know what I'm saying? We just hanging out. I appreciate you chiming in. When all the usual suspects starting to roll in here, I appreciate y'all. Y'all always come through and chime in and hang out with me. So thank you. But yeah, the voice side parameters you're gonna want to memorize a bit. You know what I'm saying? So especially the mix ones, the ones that involve the mix. I mean, all of these you're gonna need. So, and one feature that's not really talked about is you can have that filter on an LFO. Let me see if I can find. There we go. So I have the filter, and you can have the LFO affect the filter and the modulation. So that's what you're listening to there. If I change the speed, it'll change the LFO for the filter and the modulation. One thing people don't really talk about with this joint even. Now you got a LFO, right? Filter. So you don't have to have the filter running off of. What's going on, folks? Appreciate you chiming in. Yeah, I definitely appreciate you stopping past and I'm showing love to the channel. I know you, even if you gotta run, thank you. Appreciate you stopping past anyway, and feel free to start it from the beginning. Anybody, you know, I went through quite a bit, you know, and we talking about the ToneX one and all that good stuff. So we kind of hopping around a bit, but yeah, at this point I do need to go. I do need to keep it rolling because I got to get out of here soon. But so yeah, you got that feature of it as well, and that's what I said. Just having one preset is already like having three. Because I can go from having my regular bass sound on the toe, I can mix that in with the synth. So, you know, you can have the filter interact based on the dynamics or an LFO. So the LFO is just like a consistent time. It sounds like a sine LFO to me, but it just basically it keeps the filter doing this no matter if you're playing or not, while the dynamic filter, you know, or you know, in this case with most synths is really a ADSR, ADSR, but they have theirs set up where you only have a cutoff, a filter envelope amount, which is how much that filter interacts and which way it opens and closes. And then you also, you know what I'm saying, you got the resonance and the envelope. No, yeah, the envelope just changes the attack and decay. So it just has an AD. You know what I'm saying, doesn't have an ADSR. So it's just attack and decay that you kind of, you know, do that. And then your cutoff keeps you in there. So I know this is really technical terms in terms of synth, but trust and believe when you play around with it, you'll understand. Then you got little features like glide. Glide is just going to change, go between stuff, you know. But we'll go back to all that. I actually did 2 videos on the MXR bass synth already, you know, fully on that. So, and I did one comparing it with the Enzo X, the Future Impact, and the C4 synth. So check those out as well. Those videos out as well. But yeah, besides this, you know, you got the freeze function and all that extra stuff. So those are some of the good, like the features they need to be stressed, and not just you turn it on and you play with the presets. You know, that's why I said it can get it felt gimmicky at first, but when you get it in your hands and you play around and you learn some of the advanced features and you learn how to use them, it really is a valuable unit. All right, you got the beautiful deep freeze. And it's turned on the plethora X1, which has a shimmer reverb on it. And I just turned on a delay on the MS-60B Plus. So, you know, this whole little compact setup is meant to be superiorly versatile for the size. Like, I literally have every effect that I would need, you know, and a certain amount of a certain ability to rearrange them, as in the Future Impact and the bass synth also have effects in them, additional effects besides the synths as well that you can use on your drive signal, like distortion and the filters, chorus. The Future Impact has chorus, delay. You can create flangers and phasers out of that stuff as well. The MXR bass synth has filters and chorus that you can use on your dry bass sound. You know what I'm saying? So that gives me versatility even amongst those two pedals. You know what I'm saying? Then on the Zoom MS-60B Plus, I have everything. Like, I have a dish. Not that I don't need the amp models, but they're on there. You know what I'm saying? But I also have all the types of modulations, delays, and reverbs. All right here. If I need some compression, additional compression in the middle of the chain, or if I need an EQ in the middle of the chain, if I need a nice 1073 style preamp, I could throw it in there from the MS-60B. And the ToneX one, you know, also has modulations, delay, and reverb in there, and as well as compression and noise gate. So, and EQ, of course. So then we come over here to the Plethora X1, and you got, of course, the reverbs, delays, modulations, octavers. You got another, you got the infinite sustain, which is another, you know, sustaining type of sound, just like the deep freeze, or freeze effect, if you want to call it that. And it also has, only thing it doesn't have is drives. It has compression on there as well. So if I don't want to use this compressor, I also have additional compressors here, and then also had a multi-band compressor here, which I can go in and customize in the ToneX, the Tone Print app. And then all that runs up from there. So basically, it's Empress, Future Impact, MXR, bass synth, deep freeze, MS-60B Plus, ToneX, to the Plethora X1, then the Spectra Comp, on over to the Canvas Stereo line isolator. And this is super important because it really does allow the sound to come through in pristine fashion. Like, it gives you the, basically it allows, especially with the ToneX running, it allows that perfect sound to really come through. And I don't have to push too much gain, because if you start pushing gain, you hear how much noise just was introduced? As I bring that gain down, way less noise. And because all I want to be able to do is have the sound be able to be heard. But if I got to push the gain and push the master volume and everything else, like on the actual global volume of the pedal, I have that turned to 10, you know, all the way up. The global volume of the actual pedal, all the way up. And then for the, then you go in and adjust your input trim, you know what I'm saying, in your global settings. So, you can make sure you're getting the right levels. You're not clipping and you're not too quiet to get good sound from the unit. And then from there, it depends on the capture that you're using. You either use more gain for more saturation or less gain for less saturation. And then you use the master volume of that tone model rather, to turn the overall volume up or down. You know what I'm saying? So very versatile pedal, and it fits in the palm of your hand. And if you go to the description and you get a ToneX one from this channel, it helps this channel out a lot. I definitely would appreciate that if you got one through that link that's in the description. Helps me out a ton, and helps me get more pedals for you guys to review. It is MXR bass synth ain't cheap. The Future Impact ain't cheap, and I appreciate Neo Lover 23, again, one of the faithful subscribers, been here for a while. Even put me on with the Future Impact, and basically putting his money where his mouth was. It was like, yeah, I bet you love that pedal. I said, all right, if you help me get it, I'll get it. And he said, all right, say less. And I can't thank you so much. I really do truly appreciate that, because that's not just you investing in the channel or what you want to see. That, to me, that shows that you really believe in me. So thank you for that, you know what I'm saying, putting up, for that. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to do on this today, guys. This is my little compact board I'm going to be using for most of my gigs for probably a while now, you know what I'm saying? So I still have my bigger setup. It's just up top. You can't see it right now, but this is going to be my main bass gigging board, you know what I'm saying? This is all I really need. My main bass sound is just the Empress ToneX 1 into the SpectraComp or the Source Audio Atlas compressor, but the Source Audio Atlas compressor wouldn't fit on here. So the TC Electronics SpectraComp 1. So, and really, in reality, I could take this off because I can have this same tone print on here on the Plethora X1. So, I may be taking this off and leaving this on, and if I decide to get another mini pedal or something, or putting the other ToneX on there, just different possibilities. Two ToneX is always better than one, even though two ToneX 1 is better than one. That's crazy. But yeah, check out that link in the description for IK Multimedia ToneX 1 and the ToneX pedal, you know what I'm saying? And then feel free to leave in comments or questions or any of that stuff, you know what I'm saying, in the comment section, and I'll try to do my best to answer your questions about my setup or any of that stuff. And again, this is all powered by MXR ISO brick. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty proud of this little board. I think it's amazing. I create pedal boards all the time, so it's probably going to change. So, but I think this is a good version of it. So, all right. This has been another episode of All Bass Creations, effects, tutorials, demos, and review. I am the Bass Negus. Make sure you follow me on all social media at the Bass Negus, Negus. And make sure you head over to that Patreon. Head over to that Patreon now and get these preset packs for the Zoom pedals, the MS-60B Plus, MS-70 CDR Plus, the Zoom B6. We got pedal preset packs for the ToneX, 11 different preamp packs for the ToneX effects and pedals, and the C4 synth, the Future Impact V4, and the Enzo X. So check all that stuff out on the Patreon, and you can sign up there to support the channel or here on YouTube, either one. Now, I think that's it. Check out my music as well at allbasscreations.bandcamp.com. I greatly appreciate that. And I will catch you guys later. You guys have been amazing. Thank you for all your feedback and all your comments and chatting. It's a lot easier to talk to you guys than to be talking to myself. So I definitely appreciate you guys hanging with me and Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe before you leave. I'll holler at you. Peace.